Hey, how you guys doing? Hopefully this mic's working. I just got it. I'm gonna start off with how my day started. I woke up at 7, 8, and 9 and went back to sleep each time. I woke up at 7, went back to sleep, woke up at 8, went back to sleep, woke up at 9. I stayed up, but then I got caught into doom scrolling. I don't have any social media, like no TikTok, no Instagram, none of that. But I do have YouTube. And I noticed that what I escaped doing by removing TikTok, I'm now doing with YouTube. And I want to post regularly. So I'm trying to figure out like a new schedule to how to record what I want to record, but also like with the things that I want to there's things that I'm interested in watching and, learning about. So how not to like end up in that tunnel where, you're watching one video and another video and another video because you feel like you're doing something, but you're not until you start doing it yourself. So yeah, so I realized I was doom scrolling. My sister had like made me a bagel. I used it as pre-workout, and I went to the gym. Honestly, that was kind of like what got me out of bed, not even gonna lie. um I went to the gym, I worked out, I did like a bunch of I did tricep press, I did back extensions, pull-ups, I did the row, I did the lat pull down, and then I did the glute lift, and then I ended with 30 minutes on Stairmaster. I was at the gym for an hour and a half. Usually I average like an hour, like maybe an hour 10. Um, but today was an hour and a half, and I enjoyed the workout honestly. I've been trying to make sure I go to the gym consistently. I go to Planet Fitness. Everybody wants me to switch to Club Form. And I told myself if I am going to the gym more consistently, then I'll get rid of my Planet Fitness membership and go to Club 4. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessary because I'm getting all the results I want at a gym that a lot of people are putting hate on. But like, ultimately, it's just to work out with them. Aside from that, there's no real reason for me to do it. And I think back to when I first started, like the beginning of my fitness journey, I was working out with somebody consistently and I wasn't really seeing any results. It was like I was like hanging out with the person. We were taking turns doing our reps, and there's nothing wrong with that. But essentially, I noticed that when I started just working out by myself, I started getting all the results I wanted. I was working out more towards, I was working out more to like, I feel like I started catering more to what my body needed. What also helped was I did a calorie deficit. Um, I think I eat at I think it's 1569,569 calories is what I eat right now, and that's gonna increase. I'm gonna increase that a little bit over time. I'm gaining muscle. I can tell because my the weight that I'm lifting is increasing, and you kind of go through this. You kind of something happens when you're working out. And after a while, it's like you feel this rush, even through the burn, that makes you want to keep going. And I enjoy that a lot. But with my fitness journey, why I'm on it, because like it's not that I like, don't get me wrong, I want to be toned. So like I'm going through like a slight weight loss journey slash recomp. And essentially, it's only because I lost all the weight I wanted to lose and I was gaining more muscle after a plateau I hit, where I felt like I wasn't gaining any muscle, lose like I wasn't there was no results. I felt like I was just stuck. And around that time, a lot of people around me were telling me I was losing too much weight. They were like, Maya, you're losing too much weight, or they were like being nice, nasty, making comments about what I was wearing, and then telling me to like get over yourself. You look good, but like mind you, there was no comments being made. And so recently my comments in return are, and I have every right to feel this way. Or you damn right I feel good. And I know I look good, you know? because at the end of the day, I never brought it up to begin with. I was just minding my business. I'm a pretty quiet person. When I'm at work, I like listen to music or um, I try to read a Substack article or something. And it's just, I don't know, like I might read a book on my break. Occasionally I might talk to a couple of my coworkers and we might have a productive conversation. A lot of us talk about our fitness journeys. If not that, we usually talk about school because I'm in school. Um, but like aside from that, like I try not to surround my. I'm trying to say this in a nice way, or at least in a way that won't be offensive, because you never know when people see things. It's not that I have a problem with anybody I work with. I just I'm tired of the conversations that they want to have, which is always surrounded by gender and sexuality, as if that's all that there is to them and in their lives. And the politic conversations aren't always healthy, and then I don't really talk about my journey, my spiritual journey with my coworkers as well, which is they do a lot of that too. So I don't really like I don't know, it's like I don't want to say that like I kind of just like keep off to myself and my no, I do. I keep off to myself and I mind my business. If I notice a conversation's not productive or to a point where someone's like low key prying and trying to get into like figure out what I've got going on, I really just dismiss it. Um, because there's like an underlining comparative um reasoning to why they're doing it. Like they're trying to figure something out, whether it's me, them, and we don't necessarily have to do that. I don't believe in people always comparing themselves to one another because at the end of the day, it just makes people miserable. But that's neither here or there. Like my fitness journey is all about me feeling good. I'm back at it. I'm not as vocal as I used to be about it, which is probably the only reason why I'm more comfortable about it. Cause like I grew up I was a little chunky growing up, but like I was always reminded, don't get bigger because if you do, you're gonna end up like me, and that wasn't necessarily a good thing from what I was seeing. And so I was never that I was ever too small. It was don't get too big. So I was always conscious about my weight and whatnot growing up. Now I just want to feel good, look good, like what I'm wearing, because there's a certain way I like to dress. And honestly, like even with this fitness journey though, like I noticed it's not just a fitness journey. Your entire life begins to change. You change the way you eat, you change the way you spend your time, you low key change the way you change who you put yourself around, who you want around. Um the things that you used to dream about or think about, it's not really something you just think about anymore. You're putting action to it. Like a fitness journey isn't just a fitness journey, and I honestly I adore it. Um you also stop what's the words like what am I trying to say? You stop over explaining yourself because the whole point of a fitness journey, right? Like if you, especially if you're not talking about it, because talking about it more is going to essentially long term, like in the long term, limit yourself because people are gonna talk down at you. They're gonna act like your fitness journey is something that's supposed to happen overnight and that you know you're not doing what you need to do to get there because it's something that it takes consistency, it takes time, it takes that dedication and that discipline, and a lot of people don't understand that. So you know, sharing that with a lot of people, they're going to only project what they have going on onto you. And so by not sharing so much, you know, um you don't limit yourself to other people's limitations because essentially that's all it is. um So I've been keeping things more to myself recently. Like as I've been on this journey, I've learned to keep my business to myself more. I've always been the type of person where I was like, you know, I mean, I've always been a little quiet, but you know, for the most part, I just minded my business. If it came up in a conversation, I didn't mind sharing. Now I mind. Not everybody needs to know my business, and Because at the end of the day, not everybody around you, even when they're trying to have that conversation with you, they're not necessarily cheering for you. Sometimes they're wishing for your downfall. And you can honestly tell, based on how that conversation moves, which direction it goes into, or even how they choose to bring it up later. So I keep a lot of things to myself, whether it's my projects, what I like to do, how I spend my time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm doing this YouTube video and I'm sharing some of these things because at the end of the day, I'm not the only one doing it. There's a lot of people that, they go on social media and they see the end result in a picture. Um and yeah, I'm not taking pictures of myself and showing like the silhouette of my body and the clothes I wear, and I'm not, you know, showing you the physical change because that's not what this channel is about. This channel is more about the mental change, um, the emotional change on you individually. I'm sorry, I was reading something. I had a notification. And, when I noticed that I was letting other people's limitations that they were putting on me based on whatever they had going on in their personal life, because at the end of the day, I didn't always see these people. And I had let them have so much influence on my day to day. I honestly got angry and a little sad, but I was mostly just pissed off. Um, and so I was like, okay, so what can I do? And I've never been good at managing my time. I've always been pretty chill. I always go through these like bursts where I do random things, and those random things are typically creative projects that I would like to be more consistent with. I just have a lot of interest in a lot of things. Um, and but yet the one thing I wanted to do, I was always hesitant on. I said I was in school. I'm going to college, and the one thing I was hesitant on doing my whole life is the one thing I'm catering to right now in school. And so I feel so behind because I'm 26 and I'm working at a job I hate. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. But I have appreciation for because the job's done a lot for me. But I'm in school. I'm a junior now. I took a 2-year break. That'll be another story. I took a break from school. I switched my major a few times. Like there's a whole story about it. But essentially, like I'm in school and I am technically working on where I want to be. I'm doing my fitness journey, but I feel like this is school, this is work. 9 to 5 is essentially your building block. What do I use? What I get from this job to help build me towards what I want to do, which is in the middle. School is essentially your investment that you're putting into yourself to learn for that thing that you want to get to, and then how do you let those things meet in the middle. And recently I've been dealing with a dilemma where, don't get me wrong, school's not for everybody. Everything is at the end of the day, everything's at the grasp of your fingertips, and that's literally your cell phone. It is a known fact that people who don't have homes have cell phones, whether by choice or not. But like more than likely, an individual has a cell phone if they don't have anything else. And as long as you can connect to Wi-Fi, you have knowledge at your fingertips. So I've been dealing with this dilemma where like I feel behind because I can't control the pacing of my semester. With 40 hours, I spend 40 hours at work like a week. I'm full time. Um, and this job, they're pretty strict about going above, so I don't really work above it. But during school, I do like about 4 classes, 4 to 3 classes. And with 40 hours, I'm sorry, and like trying to making sure you have time for your family, partner, etc. It's a lot. It is. It really is. So this summer, I've been dealing with the dilemma of like I've spent time with my family here and there, and I've gone through a few changes, which is why I haven't done a few things that I've wanted to do. But I'm like, okay, I still feel behind. I feel like there's still something more I can be doing. I'm getting more consistent in the gym. I'm Today's the 22nd, and I looked at my Planet Fitness app and I'm like, okay, 12 days so far out of the month, and it's the 22nd. That means I'm 10 days under. Um, I lied, 13 days. I'm 13 days in going to the gym this month, but it's the 22nd. So I'm 9 days under. I got I got like there's like what 9 more days in the month. So I'm just going nonstop. And that will basically I will average like 60% of going to the gym for the month, which is an average of 3 to 4 times a week. And that's true consistency. Even though technically speaking, I would have spent the whole month going to the gym nonstop, um, on average in total. That's what I wanted anyway. I mean, I wanted more, but that's what I wanted anyway. The few times I missed the gym, it was just because I didn't people wanted to spend time with me. I said I didn't really spend time with them, sure. But because of the way I chose to spend my time, I ended up sleeping in and not going to the gym, or I thought I was gonna work out later. I didn't work out later. So I'm not even trying to risk um missing out on later because of something happening I don't know about in the future. If I have time to do it now, I'm doing it now. Simple. But back to it. Right now I'm in this I'm in a I don't even know how to describe it. I'm in a position where like how do I get to that? Um at least really truly feeling like I'm working on what I want. And that's what part of this channel is for. I'm gonna be recording on my own time as I like read poetry, break it down, ask questions, and hopefully y'all, the target audience, makes comments and whatever on it. Cause at the end of the day, like that's part of like I'm an English major and that's part of my whole thing anyway. Um, but I also have other side projects I won't even mention that go into that. Um, that that really make me feel fulfilled in life. So it's like, okay, the only thing I can do to make it better is my time management. Like, that's the one thing that's holding me back right now. I'm trying to get a better grasp on before the next semester starts because it's crunch time. I'm a junior, about to be a senior. This semester, I think, is the semester that after the semester, next spring, I'm a senior in college. Like, it's about to happen. I'm about to get my bachelor's and I'm lining up, and I'm trying to make sure I have internships lined up. I've already made the connections. I'm taking the classes I need to take now. That way I have the internship to take during the spring or the fall. So it's like it's happening. And it takes time. Like I don't go to school until August. But during this time, what can I do? I was supposed to read War and Peace, and to the friend that I said, well, acquaintance friend, whatever, that I said I was reading it with, I apologize. I picked up that book a couple times, but with what I also had in life, I haven't really read it. I'm sorry. But also because of how big of a book that is, overwhelmingly enough, I pushed back a lot of things I wanted to do. So, respectfully, I said F it. I'm not going to read it right now at least. And I'm going to read the books there's a few books I want to read I know I can get done before school starts. Um that I've been wanting to do before the summer even started. That I just didn't have time to read. I didn't have time to read them during last school semester. So that's what I'm doing right now. Like when I go inside, I'm going to I'm gonna do some scripting and some outlines. I might not do scripting. I might do scripting on my break, but I'm gonna do some outlines for some Substack articles that I'm working on that I've been like occasionally putting notes towards, but I'm really gonna dive deep in it right before work. And um, as far as like the poetry and whatnot stuff, I gotta start that series soon. I don't know. They say that your fitness journey, when you like start focusing on yourself, is when you really start like feeling that solitude. And there's nothing really wrong with it at all. But what they don't tell you is how many times you have to say no to people that you truly connect with. And sometimes even the closest people around you it's gonna hurt them, but you still have to say no to them too. That way you have the time and the energy to yourself. Because when I go to this job, I'm quiet and I just literally I do my job, I get my bag, and I keep it pushing. But even that alone, and knowing I'm not supposed to be there and I'm supposed to be doing, maybe not now, but I'm supposed to be working towards something that is going to impact not just me, but other people, is, I don't know, it's exhausting to know that I can't do it while I'm at that job. And essentially, like, I hate to say it, but all 9 to 5s, they want you to put like 40% of yourself. I'm not even gonna lie. They want you to put 90% of yourself into that job whenever they need you, as long as they need you, and then leave 10% for yourself. And lately, I've been making sure that, like, I don't go in trying to put my all in like that anymore. I'm gonna do my job, but save energy for myself in my own project. That brings me a sense of fulfillment. Essentially, that's what I've been dealing with. And I have to like work out or do something active, only like almost to like build myself back into the person with the energy that I need to do the things that I want to do. Um, and that kind of sucks. And then don't even get me started on like advice for like if you get it, don't ask anybody for advice who's not in, who's literally not remotely in a single position that you want to be in. And I mean that. I asked, I was asking for financial advice from somebody, but when I took a step back and I really looked at where they were at and all the things that I was asking questions, oh, should I wait? Should I do it now? They told me I should wait. It took me 6 months. The 6 months I lost, but I'm glad it only took me 6 months. I sat back after a while, and this is like during my fitness journey, and I was like, why did I even ask them for advice? Like, they're literally nowhere I want to be in the future. And I went ahead and I started it, and I made that financial change. Um, and it's the same thing with your education. It's the same thing with, your projects. Sometimes you've got to risk a little bit of sleep to get where you want to be. Um, Everybody wants to, I hate to say it, but it's like if you're so focused on the one trip or the 3 trips you'll take in a year that you're willing to like I don't know. I don't want to have just 3 trips in a year. I don't want to have the occasion, like every weekend or every 2 weekends you go out with your friends. I don't want, and then you're just coasting through day to day. I don't want that. So this for the last few months, I've been saying no left and right, and I've been making sure I put all that energy towards me. And that's the only thing that's really been giving me peace. And don't get me wrong, you got FOMO. It happens. Like the fear of missing out, it happens. You wonder if you're making the right decision because at the end of the day, you don't want to be somewhere where you've achieved everything and there's nobody around you to share it because that's just emptiness, But at the end of the day, like you have to have that time to build, and if you have to get rid of the things around you that won't allow you to build. Because at the end of the day, like, if it's your hobby and it's something you love, but to somebody else it looks like work, and they're telling you to take a break, slow down, rest, but every fiber in your body wants to go, 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 and it's truly something you love, don't stop. Please, for the love of God, do not stop because you're going to wonder why you slowed down in the first place. And it's sad because at the end of the day, all you were doing was people pleasing. If you push back the time you spend to work out, write, do photography, cook, um, make music, to spend time with people who admire you for who you are, but just won't really give you the time and space to build so you can continue to be that person that they admire. Not that it really matters, but really at the end of the day, be the person who you respect when you look in the mirror. There's some terms you got to come up with. And honestly, like, I'm talking to you behind the camera, but I'm also talking to me because it's like, it's a, it's a hard fact that you got to deal with. Which is why I'm like, don't share everything, you know? Um, but yeah, I got, I'm sorry, I'm hot. I just got out the gym and I'm sweaty and I'm ready to shower now. But, I'm going inside and I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna eat, do what I gotta do. But essentially, like, I've got 2 hours, 3 hours. I got 2 hours. 'Cause I'm not gonna count the 1 hour I need to cook, right? The one, I have 2 hours. So I've got like an hour and a half. I lied. I've got an hour. No, how long would it take me to cook? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm human. I made some fresh bread. I already meal prepped for work tomorrow. Um, 45 minutes to like shower, cook, get settled in. An hour and 15 to work on my project, whatever that may be. Um, and I don't mind announcing it because I've already announced it and it's gonna force me to actually do it, you know? I'm working on a Substack. It's about we're gonna start with the first one. The first one is about the main character in Sex and the City and the comparison between her and the main character in Devil Wears Prada, Andy, and why people honestly gravitate more to that main character in Sex and the City than they would Devil Wears Prada. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there's only just because of my fitness journey and um who I've been surrounded by and knowing that, yeah, I mean, honestly, I knew I needed to enjoy the process more before, but now I have a better appreciation for it. Because at the end of the day, it's just gratitude. People say I have gratitude, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're great, be grateful. It's not overhyped. You really need to have gratitude for the process and of your fitness journey, really any journey you're starting, um, no matter how small or big long term it is, like, it's worth it. And I'm asking, like, why is it that people gravitate more to that? And I already know the answer. Because people want instant gratification. People prefer the dream. And it might get into like a little bit of a more, it might turn into like a part two and three because, as I'm talking and well, I'm not talking because I'm not saying half the things I want to say. I'm like thinking and talking to y'all. But it's like, how do I say it? In the 90s, early 2000s, grinding towards your dreams was the dream. Getting that dream job was the dream. And now people can't even get a job on the market now, you know? So I think that's why people really gravitated it towards it. It was the not necessarily the hustle culture that was something that people really want. I don't know, because people, I don't know, there was a sense of hustle culture back then, but people don't want the reality of it. And with Sex in the City, she already has the job. She, but it also focuses more on what she's writing and how it's tied to her day to day. Whereas with Andy, she just got a job that anybody might want in her position, and she's taking it for granted at first. But it's the skills that she's having to learn while being introduced to the culture of of the fashion world, where she begins to really have that like character development into who the main character in Sex and the City is, who she already, she already is that girl who went through it. She's already built part of that empire. Um, and now it's like she's kind of like focused on the smaller things. Um, all the things you want to bring with you when you get to that dream job. And so, like, I don't know, I think it's fascinating, honestly. Like, I'm gonna have to read a bunch of Substack articles where people have already talked about wanting to, you know, I forget what they call it. They like say they want to channel. I think her name is Carrie, but I don't want to be wrong, and I feel bad if I am. I watched it for a few months and I stopped watching it. And I got into Narcos, which is and you know what? I'll share it. It's another Substack that I want to do, and then I'll get off. I'm watching Narcos. I adore it. It's amazing. I'm watching Game of Thrones right now too, but I prefer Narcos. Bite me. But I'm watching Narcos. I'm like, why is it that like drugs are always certain drugs are always um connected to certain cultures? And I was talking to a classmate about it, and I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure part of it has to do with like where it grows and the culture that stands there already. But even then, like, um se- this TV show is about cocaine, and that the drug cartels and their growth and their fault, how it fell and then it continued. Well, really, how it continued to grow as certain cartels fell. How the cocaine business continued to grow. I mean, so um, like, why is it that it's typically correlated to certain cultures and whatnot? And I mean, honestly, you look at those connections, it's lifestyle, where is it grown, labor, like the cost to make it, um, just like stuff like that. But like, I really want to dive into that and write about that. And I know that that could be a series. I don't really desire to make it a series, to be honest. But like, when I write, I get carried away. And then there's another Substack article I'll probably work on during this semester. Um, I have to edit it. It's a paper I wrote, and it's a comparison of Lord of the Rings and AI, where I compare AI to the Eye of Sauron and to the actual ring itself. But I compare if and I want to make sure I say this correctly. It was from the perspective of being a student that returns to college. When before I left, AI wasn't involved for real. Like they might have hinted at it a few times, but like nobody was concerned about AI and how it was affecting students academically. But I came back and it was a culture shock. So that's essentially what I wrote about, and I might get in more depth with. It's just something I have to reread. I don't know why I'm putting the pressure on myself to reread Lord of the Rings, but the book is this thick, and I could do an audiobook, but I won't be able to take all the notes I want to. And there's a difference between reading the words and hearing them. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not necessarily the best listener in the world. Um, so I have to reread that, and I don't know exactly when I'm gonna put that down, but like when I'm really gonna, it might be a project I work on like once a week or once every 2 weeks, maybe even once a month while I prioritize other projects in my education because it's already partly done. And I know that sounds bad, but I wouldn't be a true artist if I didn't postpone work and leave it halfway done. But it's also the piece that I wrote last semester that encouraged me to switch my minor. So I'm also like a little like nerve stuck about it because it's like want to get some more. I want to get some readings done that I haven't been able to do. I've been like paralyzed when it comes to reading, because of where I know I'm going, and it's something me and my one of my classmates were talking about because he's going through it too a little bit. Even though he's been reading more than me, but I've been doing more like creative stuff physically. Like I've been doing more drawing and I've been like making bracelets and whatever. But I want to get back into my reading, my writing a little bit more. Which honestly, if I'm being honest, the only reason why I hesitate so much on it is because it's like I'm looking in the mirror and I can't hide from myself. But then it's not even like everything I write, I don't mind sharing. And the whole point of it is to share because I want people to be more kind to each other. I want people to have more love for themselves, more love for the world, and appreciate. I want people to appreciate each other more. And you see, so I know like once I write these things, I have to share them. And I'm like shaking my head no subconsciously because I don't want to, but I have to. And I've always been that person where I'll look at you and you'll tell me something you think about me, and I'll be like, okay, sure, you got it. But the whole I literally I've been watching like the creator of Sandman, the writer, the creator of Coraline. I was watching. He's got a series right now, or at least I don't know. My uncle had added he had like added it, and so I got to watch it recently. I don't know if it's a recent documentary thing. It's like a class. It's like a master class show, but he was like sharing like how to get better at storytelling and whatnot. And he hit the one thing that I've seen consistently that I just haven't been willing to come to peace with. And the only way I can do that is by actually doing the work. And I've been running from the work because I don't want to see it. But it's just because a girl's been through a lot and a girl was tired, but I'm dealing with it. I'm just gonna do it scared. That's why my name is just Do It Scared Maya. But essentially you just have to be okay with showing yourself to the world. My biggest fear is probably, aside from falling,
Like I
is to
was
be seen.
saying, aside from falling, my biggest fear is probably to be seen. And I had to cut it because I got a little too personal. Well, I started sharing a little too much, but essentially, um, yeah, that's basically it. But I just wanted to add, it's not just follow your dreams. You need to take action. Um, and everybody's where they need to be. There's a reason for it. But if you have that burning desire to push a little bit harder, just do it. Because you're only gonna regret it long term. I'm telling you. And don't push back your dreams for other people's happiness, even if those people are important around you. 'Cause at the end of the day, you're gonna regret it. Trust, I know. Um, but yeah, if you didn't like, please like. If you didn't like, leave a comment. Don't have to describe. You don't have to subscribe, but if you could hit the subscribe button. And I'll catch y'all around on the flip side when I decide to make another video. Hopefully that's tomorrow. Hopefully that's later today. Maybe later this weekend. I don't know. But I can't wait to see y'all soon.